It's very rare for a family to be one and done. Christina now has COVID. She is now positive, and it just breaks my heart. It is the one thing I was hoping wouldn't happen, and now it has.
Yeah, well, look, it's something we talked about, right, when this first started. It's very hard for a person to quarantine in a home and other people not to get infected. That's why we talked about people who quarantine in hotels. They quarantine in a hotel room. The food for 14 days, the food that comes in, they don't even take the plates out for 14 days. I mean, you want to talk about intense quarantine, right? But to do it in a home where a person's bringing you dishes, bringing you food, even if they're wearing a mask and gloves, you know, that virus can live on some surfaces up to 2 days. So in some ways, this was inevitable. Luckily, it was Christina, not one of the kids. Now, this is what families are dealing with, right? The point of you communicating this, rather than just taking a couple of weeks off, is you're communicating to Americans what this is like. And by the way, this is what it's like. One person gets the virus, other people in the home get the virus. You now have a mother and a father with the virus. You have 3 kids that you have to take care of. This gets very complicated very fast. So there is a reality to this. The good news is, look, to the extent you think maybe Christina's going to blame you for this, there's a lot of other things, as we know, she can blame you for. So this is going to be number 17 on the list.
That's true.
So I wouldn't worry about that. And you're going to be getting better soon, right? Because you have to be getting to the tail end of this thing. So you'll be up and you'll be strong. And look, for the kids, when all is said and done, I don't think this is a bad experience for them to go through. You want to talk about growing up a little bit and seeing reality a little bit? Bella will step up. So it's all going to be fine. I know it makes a bad situation worse, but it's all going to be fine at the end.
Well, look, you know, just to be a little more transparent here, obviously I've been a little bit of a mess about this today, so I've been talking to Andrew about it a lot. The person who's not upset is Christina. Christina takes everything in stride, and so far we're hoping, and a lot of this is anecdotal because we just don't know that much, but in talking to so many of you who've experienced it in your own families, she lost her sense of smell and taste. And this is not science, okay? But anecdotally, the cases I hear about that are more mild tend to have that. I didn't have that. I didn't lose. And my friends who've had the long fevers like I have and the bad chest aspects, most of them didn't lose sense of smell. And that's more about hope than it is about, you know, anything hard in terms of fact. But Andrew is telling you the truth about one thing. My 17-year-old stepped up. The kids stepped up because mom is the core, right? I mean, when mom goes down, you feel it. And they have stepped up. They're helping each other. They're more quiet. They're focused on her. And hopefully it makes the family even stronger. But I got to tell you, it's tough. It really makes me understand how people are dealing with so much and so much more than we are all over the place and for a long time.
And we welcome Christina Cuomo, who's had an involuntary front row seat to one of America's most famous sort of COVID case studies, and that is her husband, Chris of CNN. How is he doing now? I know he got better and then there was a little bit of a setback.
Well, we finished week 2 and he's on day 18. Many have said that it's about a 21-day aggressive symptomatic virus.
You're looking strong and well. Are you constantly worrying that you have it, or are you okay?
It's sort of like day to day. You just wake up and pray you don't have it that day.
You are General Christina Cuomo in that household, caring and supporting Chris. Do you have any type of physical contact? Like, you put your hand on his shoulder, give him a hug, or has he been like 6-10 feet away from the beginning of this thing?
Well, I stand at the top of the stairs and there's a landing there. I put the food tray down. I have my gloves, my mask, and he comes to the stairs and we hang out.
He comes to the from the top of the stairs to the bottom of the stairs?
Yeah, and we chat, and I'll sit on the steps, and he'll stand there. And
you've developed a battle plan for him. We've seen your refrigerator. There's a lot of juices in there. Has this been the difference maker? And tell me, what is the protocol?
Food is medicine too. So our whole effort was to build back his immune system. We integrated things that his doctor suggested, like Tylenol and Allegra D. But most importantly, it was the good foods and the herbs, the oxygenated herbs and the homeopathy. And obviously the vitamins were really critical for this and necessary right now.
What kind of, what are the all-star foods in there?
I put together sort of a clean diet that didn't put stress on his liver, and I didn't want to tax his bodily function, so that all the energy was focused on digesting, fatty foods. So we made a lot of soups, lentil soups, chicken soups, legumes, vegetable soups, which are always good when someone is sick.
Chris's banter with his brother, Governor Andrew Cuomo, has been something of a cable TV sort of ratings hit. People love seeing the two of them together sparring as brothers do. Is this the Andrew Cuomo that you've always known? He's doing a good job.
Andrew is a highly intelligent man who we're all realizing has very practical, mechanical skills to fix things. He's also very funny, and the two of them are like this all the time. There's no script. They're just going after each other all the time, and it's hilarious at any family function. It keeps things in a really sort of sane place right now. He's
an eligible bachelor, is he not? I would imagine that all your single friends might be texting, "Yo, Christina, introduce me." He's a catch, this guy.
He's a great big catch. The texts have been on overload right now. Can I meet Andrew?
Yeah.
And it's great.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.
I gotta ask, because you look a little bit better to me, Chris. Are you feeling better too?
I feel better. I'm scared by this. I'm scared by the potential of this, and it frustrates me because I can't get out of this basement. I still have this low-grade fever. I can't shake it. And I know everybody tells me it's gradual, it takes time, it's anywhere between 2 to 3.5 weeks. But it is maddening to have this little stupid fever, this 9.5 fever. The body aches are better. My breathing's getting better. It's getting stronger. I'm now at the 3,500 that you wanted me to get to on that spirometer, the thing where I have to blow on it and make the ball go. I've never hated a happy face as much as I do doing that spirometer, because it's the smiley face. That's where you have to keep the little ball when you're blowing up. So it's the most painful place to keep it. But
means you're doing a good job.
I can't beat it. And I am a metaphor, Sanjay, for the country, where not just the face of how people are sick, there's a whole range. I'm saying I'm ready to get out of the basement. I'm sick of being sick. I've had it. I want to get back to work, but I'm not ready. And I don't have a plan to be ready.
Yeah.
That's where we are right now. And it's like the president saying, no, I'm good. Get out, Chris. Go do your job. You're good to go. I'll get people sick.
It's so striking to me, Chris, because what you're describing, and part of the reason I ask each time I see you is because, this is instructive. This is part of how we learn. We knew this was a novel coronavirus, but what does that mean exactly? Besides the fact that it's new, we have no immunity to it. We're all learning together. This is different than SARS, which was also a coronavirus. SARS was not nearly as contagious as this. By the way, Chris, it was a lot more lethal. SARS was probably 10% fatality rate. H1N1 was super contagious, but not lethal, really, about 1/3 of the rate of lethality of flu. This one is, we're learning about this. We're talking, as you said, 2 to 3 weeks of illness. That's a long period of illness. Is that going to be normal for everybody? We don't know. There are some people who seem to get really quite sick suddenly from this virus, and some people who sort of languish along for a period of time and then, thankfully improve. That's most people. Most people like you are going to improve. I'm confident of that. But, it's a tough road. How many days has it been now for you?
I was diagnosed. I tested positive 2 weeks ago today. I probably had light symptoms a few days before it. I felt lousy. That's why I wanted to get tested, because I knew I'd been exposed to multiple people who tested positive. And as an essential worker and stuff, I knew I had to make sure, because I was going to be too much in the mix. So I got tested, and It's been 2 weeks, but I'll tell you what we're going to hear about, Sanjay. And I know this because I've been talking to so many people all over the country, and people are afraid to talk about it, and I'm not. This virus creates emotional illness and creates psychological illness. I'm telling you, it is in my head, not just figuratively in terms of messing with you because you're sick for a long time. It is causing people depression, and it's creating brain fog, and it's creating edginess in people. That can happen from fever also, as you do your research and all that. I know you know this already, Doc. I'm experiencing that. It messes with your head, this virus. And I don't know where it leaves you afterwards. And the experts I'm talking to are saying to me increasingly, yes, we've seen that. But how do you treat it and what does it mean down the road? We don't know. People are having scarred lungs after this, where they don't have the same lung capacity afterwards that they did before. We're going to learn a lot of things, and that's even more reason to make sure that we keep as few people from getting it as possible. Sanjay, not everybody has the good fortune that I do to have a Sanjay on speed dial. And you are a gift, and thank you for helping me get through this.
Anytime, brother. And I'm glad I'm glad we're talking about this, because I think too many times this gets turned into a binary issue, Chris. People who've lived and people who have not. And you're going to be in the recovery column. You'll be listed as recovered. But what does that really mean, to be recovered, which is what I think you're driving at, Chris. So I hope you'll keep having me back on, because I want to hear. I'm learning. I really am. I think we all are. So I appreciate it.
I'm glad for you to go to school on my bad fortune. No, I'm kidding. Sanjay, you're the best. You are always welcome, and you are a gift to me. Thank you. And now, look, and as Sanjay will tell you all day long, and he's right to tell you, I'm as good as it gets, okay? I have the means. I have the ability to be in a nice place, isolated by myself. I got a wife who is killing herself to take care of me and my family. I've got every box checked. My job is secure as far as I know. Imagine when you have none of those things. It is really important for us to stay connected with what's going on, especially if we're all going to get on board in this great big hurry to create more risk of more cases.